All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. And as folks join us, we would address your questions as we go. So I'm going to start out basically by saying thank you so much for joining us for yet another moment of Private Transformation Minutes. This is Dala. It's a Saturday, and finally I get a chance to just stay home, relax. I didn't go to bed till about 4 a.m. this morning, just, online and just taking care of some other things. And so it's good to at least have a day where one can just, come home and just rest and be with the family. Today I want to continue our discussions on developing credible relationships, especially online. When it comes to relationships, it's a very dynamic quality that a lot of us do not pay too much attention to. We tend to step into relationships without having a clear understanding as to what it is that we're trying to accomplish, or even why we're in there. So too often what happens is people end up in relationships, and the relationships either do not thrive or they fall apart over a period of time, and then they wonder why. But I wanted us to take some time to think and talk about this dynamic, relationships. And then in the world that we live in today, that it has even gone beyond your immediate sphere of influence. It now pretty much impacts every aspect, of your life, online, offline, and pretty much everything else. So why is it so important for us to pay attention to those relationships? And I think I want to talk about that a little bit, and then delve a little bit further into the online presence and why it's important for you to know how to manage that. Now, by design, you and I are creatures that cannot dwell in isolation. What that means is that we have a natural tendency. It's a natural trait. It is who we are. It is part of our design. It is our nature not to be isolated. You see, that's why today we have prison systems that are created as means of punishing people. And people are locked away in a prison so that they will be excluded from society, as taking away the evil, or, as it were, from society. But there is another dimension of even that. Even when people who are already locked away in prison do something wrong within that system, they take them to what's called isolation or solitary confinement. Basically, they take away that privilege of interaction. So interaction with other people is a part of who we are. It is our nature. You cannot exclude or remove any human being from interacting with any community and they thrive. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a movie that Tom Hanks did a few years ago. It's called Castaway. I think you really need to go see that movie if you don't fully understand what I'm saying, because Castaway was a story of a man who was involved in a plane crash, and he was the sole survivor, ended up on this island and basically had to survive there, for however long it took him before he could, get off the island and look for help. But it unveils a side of humans. It unveils a part of who we are, that we need that interaction. Love, that interaction, that desire to connect with other people is a part of who we are. So when we talk about relationships, it is so important for us to understand that this plays a significant role in how we live and why we need to understand the dynamics of its role in our lives. So, but not just building relationships, but building ones that are sustainable, ones that are credible, relationships that will last a lifetime. You see, we have to be able to understand the dynamics of each relationship and how it falls into the spectrum of of our life's experiences. Because somebody told me this years ago and it stuck. He said that the difference between who you are today and who you will be a year from now is the summation of the people that you meet and the opportunities they create. And I've come to find out that that is so true. It is so true that too often people come along your path and those people help you to the next level, or they will put you down where you are, or they might even take you backwards. So people play a significant part of our lives. And so we need to understand the relationships that come in and out of our lives and how we can manage those relationships and make the most out of it. Now, for people who want to keep you in the picture, they want to do so because they know that you have something called credibility. Credibility exceeds trust. It's not just trust, it's transparency. Credibility is knowing that you will deliver at every point in time, knowing that what you say you will do is exactly what you say you will do. I mean, they know that they can basically, commit something to you and go to the bank knowing that it is taken care of. That is what credibility does. You understand? So now, how do you bring all of this together? It plays out in our private lives, with your family, with your friends, on the job, wherever it is that you live, whatever it is that you do, you have to develop relationships. Even banks and some of the corporate organizations around the world have something that they call relationship officers. They call them relationship bankers or folks whose job or diversity officers. I mean, their job basically is to create a platform where people can feel comfortable around you, where people can be able to entrust you and trust you and connect with you on a very personable level. So now, having said all of that, how does that play into your online presence? We're talking about you and social media. That's the focus this week. We've been talking about, why you need to be on social media. This all important question came up, and that was, why are you on social media? I'm not saying why were you on the internet. I'm saying, why are you on social media? That is a very, very important question that needs to be asked. Now, I explained some things, and I think I want to emphasize this. Most people that you know are on social media. The majority, there's a reason why, Mark Zuckerberg and his team and a few other people have been trying to find ways to actually create a platform, where the whole world can have access to the internet. It's intentional because it's a very powerful tool. Social media is a very, very powerful tool. Now, if in our day and age, and I'm talking about right now in 2016, if you're not on social media, then you're pretty much missing over 50% of your chance of reaching a wider audience. Businesses around the world, businesses go global. There was a time where in order for a business to go global, you need to have your offices, in your home nation. You need to start thinking about how to set up shop in different countries around the world. You have to deal with all the legalities with setting up corporations, finding partners, hiring foreign workers, and dealing with all of that. But today, you don't even need that. You can start a global business right in your living room. All you need is access to the internet. But it even goes further. Social media makes it possible for you to actually meet a wider audience. So it brings me to a thought that someone sent me today. He said, I'm on social media because I believe it's a platform for me to send my message out or to get my message out. And that is a very, very useful thing to know, because people become accessible. People become open. People would connect with something that they think has value to them. People would reach out and want to be a part of something that resonates with them. So it is always important for you to know why you are on social media. Now think about this closely. Think about this closely. How would you be able to reach 5,000 people around the world who can read your message even if it's a sentence that you post a day. How can you do that? If you want to reach 5,000 people in 50 different countries, how do you do that? Do you have to go open shop in 50 countries? About 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that was the option. You have to start thinking about who to connect. You have to think about the logistical nightmare involved. You have to think about how to, you have to pretty much travel everywhere. But here we are today. I'm sitting down right here in my home office and I'm talking to you halfway across the world, and sharing my message with you and talking to you about Private Transformation Minutes. I'm trying to tell you about how powerful social media is if you understand how to leverage it. So the point I'm trying to make is, don't ever approach social media as something that you do just to entertain yourself or just for the purpose of enjoyment. I mean you enjoy it because you have to love what it is that you do. I think you need to excuse me for a second. My daughter just walked in here and turned the TV on loud. 1 second. All right, I apologize about that. Now, that is the beauty of social media. I can sit down right here in my living room and living my life with my family and having a good time and still have time to be able to reach out to you and share my message and share my thoughts with you. Now, like I was saying, social media is such a powerful tool and you need to understand how to leverage it. Don't get on social media just because everybody is there. You have to ask yourself this question: why are you there? If you don't know why you're there, identify a reason for being there. Maybe it's another platform to expand your message, your ministry, your business, your idea. You see, nowadays, you don't even need to go to a bank to look for money. There's something they call crowdsourcing, meaning that you can put an idea out there and people who are interested in that idea will come around and put resources to help that business succeed. So there's so many opportunities that social media presents to you. Don't just see it as a platform where you come and post your favorite pictures, what you're eating for lunch, what you ate yesterday for lunch, what you're planning to eat tomorrow for lunch. Those are great. I mean, it shows that you're human. But besides that, what do you use social media for? What are you planning to achieve? What are you planning to attain? If you were to now think about how crazy this is. Think about how crazy this is. The average user of social media, is online for at least 4 hours a day. At least. And we're talking about the average. We're talking about those who hardly ever use it and those who live there permanently. When they took an average, they did an average search on, they're usually online between 4 to 6 hours a day. 4 to 6 hours a day. I mean, that's amazing. So think about this. That means if you spend 4 to 6 hours a day on social media, by the time you're 40, or let's say 40 years from that point on, it can be calculated that you have been online consistently and doing nothing for at least 10 years. I mean, that is a huge chunk of your life. That is an important part of your existence. I mean, the fact, and I'm not calculating the fact that you will spend money to get data to get online. I'm not talking about the fact that it's your time that you're still spending and expending in the times that you're online. I mean, all these things come together. It adds up tremendously. So if you're not spending your life, you have to be investing it. I mean, if you're not wasting it, you have to be adding value to it. So it is so important for you to have a clear-cut understanding as to why you are on social media. It is okay once in a while. I do it myself. I mean, I was in Kaduna not too long ago, and I came across this beverage. It's called Milo. and Peak Milk. These were things that I was having growing up, and I was so excited. I took a picture of myself with a pack of Milo and Peak Milk, and I was just like, yes. Now my kids will not understand that, but folks who grew up in the period that I was born, or that were my peers, or that are my peers, or even those older than me, can understand where I'm coming from. Just the excitement of seeing things like that. You understand? So to me, that's like a landmark moment. But that does not and should not constitute the majority of my time. Do you get online to just check and see what is trending, what is current? How do you use that? It is so important for you to have a clear understanding as to why it is that you need to be on social media and why you are on social media. Don't forget, everybody that you can imagine is there. And I will encourage you to listen to the broadcast. There's a broadcast on Monday. There's a video that is coming out on Monday. There's a video coming out on Tuesday where I focus and I talk about some of the attributes that you will need in order for you to become effective in social media. Now, just think about this. I'm here doing a broadcast with you, but the messages that you're going to be listening, the videos that you're going to be watching on Monday and Tuesday have already been queued, and Wednesday for the rest of this week, the things that I'm going to be talking to you about have already been queued. I mean, that is beautiful. So I can pretty much just go about my life doing what I need to do, and social media as an engine is relaying based on how I schedule things to be delivered, and you can connect and be blessed by it. So it is so imperative for you to understand the power of social media. It is a powerful tool to expand your message, to grow your business. It's a powerful tool for you to reach the world pretty much from your living room. So now, how does all of that play into the concept of credibility? People want to know that you have a message that is viable, that whatever it is that you're sharing has value to them. That is what is going to establish that trust. That is what will establish that credibility. There has to be that consistency, not only of your message, but you have to develop a method. You have to develop a strategy that allows you to be effective, live your life, do the things that you need to do, and still be able to bring about influence around the people that are around the network of people. Now, a question was asked saying, how do I know? Or even though I'm trying to pass a message, I just accept everybody, that wants to friend request me or whatever it is, and I do the same. I pretty much open up to everybody that comes my way because I don't know what it is. But there are some cases where I choose to decline the offer because maybe just looking at the person's profile, I realize that this is somebody that's just going to add stress to my life. And let me explain by what I mean by that. That means, like, for instance, I post this video, I can be rest assured that that person is going to come back and be posting, either things that do not align with what I'm trying to do, or things that even contradict the message that I'm trying to pass, or by just one of those spammers who are just trying to befriend everybody so that they can go on there and pretty much just post, custom cars that have been seized for sale, or whatever it is that they're selling, and I think it's a great platform, but I think it tends to be abused. People need to know how to connect with people so that that platform does not become spam, as it were. It becomes effective. It becomes you're able to reach the audience that you need to reach. So it is great to get on social media and connect with whoever is available to connect with. It is great to have the platform to pass your message on, but your message has to be targeted. You have to know who you're trying to reach. You have to be intentional about everything. You need to plan everything. You need to make sure that you are being effective. You need to take time to take a step back and evaluate and say, is my strategy working? If it is not, then you have to figure out ways to make it more efficient. All right. So social media is a powerful tool, very, very powerful tool. And I will strongly encourage you to harness it because Everybody, like I said, around the world is already there. You are able to get immediate responses. You can tell. I mean, I'm sitting down here, I can tell, and I can see folks who are listening to this message live. I can see their names. I know where they are. I see the comments that they're making. That's the power of social media. I can send a message to, for instance, my friend there all the way in Italy that is watching this. I can send him a message, my inbox, and he responds, because it goes directly to him. It bypasses, everybody and customs and immigration and everybody en route to Italy. And he's already in contact with me in a matter of minutes. So social media is a very, very powerful tool that you need to leverage. Not only that, it is cheap and accessible to almost everybody. Most of the social media platforms, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, all these platforms, WhatsApp. Some of these communication platforms and social media, they're free, they're cheap, they're available. Take advantage of them. You understand? And it's a very, very powerful tool. But what matters is making sure that you're using it intentionally, making sure that you're targeting your audience that you want to reach. Make sure that you have a goal in mind that you want to accomplish. I will encourage you to listen to Monday and Tuesday's broadcasts. They are intended to give you steps and things that you need to put in place in order for you to have an effective time, using social media to build credible relationships. So I will strongly encourage you, if you have questions, you have thoughts, post them to this video or post them on the Private Transformation page. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to www.privatetransformation.com privatetransformation.com and like our page. Share these videos or videos that are there that add value to you, things that you think help you. Take advantage of it, and be sure to join me every Saturday. I was doing this broadcast every day, but again, like I said, I am busy, and it was going to be almost impossible for me to keep up with having to come online every single day at a specific time to do this. But I do know that this works. At least that way, during the course of the week, I will pre-record the items and the issues that I want to talk about. We'll post them out on social media. You just go out there and grab, listen to the messages for the entire week. And then on Saturdays at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, Saturdays 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, like this, we'll come together and discuss the issues or topics that we've talked about during the course of the week. And I'll be so glad to get your questions, your thoughts, your ideas, and whatever it is that you want to share on how private transformation and the private transformation minutes has been helping you, or how we can even better improve the process. So thank you once again for joining me. My time is up, and I hope that you would connect to our page, like I said, Private Transformation Network, and watch the videos. We'll continue this series all through this week, and I hope that it can be a blessing to you, and the lessons that you are able to glean from it, you can actually be able to apply to your time on social media, so that you can be able to make the most of your life. So thank you very much, and do have a lovely weekend, and I would look forward to connecting with you again on Monday. Have a good weekend.